Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the 10 to 100 Solana challenge, where we try to flip NFTs and get from 10 Solana all the way up to 100 Solana. I do these episodes every single second week, and as you can tell, I'm not in my usual setup. If you didn't see yesterday's video, I basically said it there as well, but I'm basically in Bali right now, gonna be staying here for a couple of weeks, but you guys don't have to worry. As you can tell, I brought all of my gear, so I'm still gonna grind just as much, put out just as many videos for you guys. So if you appreciate my efforts and enjoy this episode and want me to continue doing this series or challenge every single second week, do remember to smash that like and subscribe down below to never miss any of my episodes or other Solana content on the channel as well. Now in this episode we did some pretty bad trades, but I think it's important to show the bad trades as well as the good trades, because in my opinion you learn even more from the bad trades than you do from the good trades. So every single second week I'll be here, be completely transparent even if we have a horrible week. And also I haven't really been able to do a ton of trades in this episode, at least the second week of this episode, just because I've had a lot of things going on behind the scenes, like traveling to Bali. I had to pre-record and plan a lot of stuff and a lot of other things, meetings, other YouTube stuff going on, but I still did some trades that I want to show you guys. So let's jump right over to Magic Eden and go through these trades. So the last thing we did in last week's episode was basically sell our miners of Mars that we bought for approximately 2 Solana for 1.3 Solana right here. As you can see, we basically bought these miners of Mars for approximately 2 Sol. So we did lose the money on those. Unfortunately, they are right now back up to like 2.5 Solana. So could have made some more money on those if we would have held them a bit longer. But like, this is a trading series. I can't really hold NFTs for multiple weeks at a time because there will be no content for you guys. So unfortunately, I sold these too early. I wanted the liquidity to do more trades as well. So it is what it is, made a small loss on those, but we actually started this episode off really good. We basically bought one of these milk bottles, which is from the Cats on Crack project. We bought one for 7.2 Solana right here, ended up selling it for 9.2 for like a 1 to 1.5 Solana profit, which I'm super happy about, of course. Now these did actually pump all the way up to like 25 Solana, which is crazy. So could have made a ton more money, but in my opinion 1.5 Solana profit is pretty good either way. The next thing we did was basically to buy one of these stone frogs for 5 Solana right here. Then we sold a dead rejects for 6.25. This one we basically picked up down here for 5.8. So we did make a small profit, or basically we made no profit after fees on that. At least not a lot, may even have gone in a small loss because the royalties are so high on this one. But basically, let's just say 0 loss or profits on that one. Then we sold or lost miners of Mars for 1.15 Sol right here, for another small loss, unfortunately. We then picked up a Degen Dojo for 10.88 Sol. This one did pump pretty quickly up to like 13 before it dipped down to like 9, I think. After we bought this Degen Dojo, we sold the stone frogs that we bought down here for 5 Sol and sold it for 6.75, as you can tell, for nice like 1 Solana profit approximately, which I'm really happy about as well, of course. Then we bought one of these crypto coral tribes for 4.8 and another one for 5.4 right here. Plus we picked up a couple of floating apes for 2.76 and 2.59. This was exactly when they launched. The hype was pretty high, the community was there behind this project, so I decided to pick up a couple of them. Turns out it was not a very good trade. Basically after that we sold our crypto coral tribe that we picked up for 4.8 Sol for 6.7, so a small profit on that one as well. We then picked up a honey genesis bee for 2.4 Solana right here. Basically the reason I picked one of these up was because Frank from Digas basically tweeted a bee emoji. That was all he tweeted, just as a teaser. A lot of people thought they were collabing with the honey genesis bees, so I saw that the minute he posted it, was able to pick one up pretty cheaply for 2.4. That did pump up to like 3.5. Wasn't able to sell it at the top, but I was able to sell for 2.95 for a small like 0.2 or 0.3 Solana profit, which I'm really happy about because this trade was done in such a small amount of time. So I'm really happy with those profits. But turns out the bee emoji had nothing to do with this project. They actually bought a basketball team called the Beasts or something like that. But basically just staying up to date on Twitter, looking for small teasers like that can be a great way to make money, just like this trade showed you. We then went ahead and sold one of our floating apes affiliation for 1.49 that we picked up for 2.5 for a pretty bad loss on that one. Unfortunately, they just lost momentum. Did not do too well, so that was a pretty bad trade. I then sold another crypto coral tribe for 3.95. This was the one we picked up for 5.4. So basically lost all the profits we made from the first crypto coral tribe on that one. After that, I saw that the stone frogs got a lot of momentum, they had a lot of hype, so I ended up picking up 2 of them, one for 6.5 Solana and another for 5.75. And then I sold my last floating apes that we bought for 2.7 for 1.45 for another pretty bad loss on that one. We then picked up the orcs for 6.5 Solana, which was another horrible trade. I basically FOMO'd in on this one, and FOMO is something you should never do. It basically never turns out good when you FOMO into projects, but that's what I did on this one. They lost some momentum. I ended up just selling it quickly for 4.75, just like taking a small loss. They are right now sitting at like 4, so I'm pretty happy that I sold, even though the project could easily get back up in my opinion. I do think they have decent potential, but I still don't really mind selling it, getting some liquidity back and just cutting my losses. Then we picked up a D-Scullies for 5.4. This was also right when they launched. And this was another one of those projects that got super hyped right when they launched and then just lost all their momentum. So I ended up selling it for 3.15 for a horrible like 2.5 Solana loss, which is really bad, of course. This was another FOMO trade. Like, even though I am fairly experienced, I've been in this space since late August, so I am kind of an OG in the space, but even I get FOMO sometimes, and still it never turns out good. So after that happened, we bought 2 of the gates of Imaginarium for 1.5 and 1.6. This was also right when it launched. And my experience in this episode with projects that just gets launched on Magic Eden is pretty bad, because these gates of Imaginarium did not do very good either. So the Degen Dojo that we bought for 10.88, we ended up selling it for 9.5. I wish I would have kept this one. The reason I decided to sell it was because I wanted some liquidity for when the Onira drop was happening. Basically, Onira was minting. I was looking to get a secondary play on that one, but didn't end up doing that. So I didn't really have to sell the Degen Dojo. Sold it at a pretty bad time as well for 9.5. Right now, they are back up to like 12.5. So could have made another like 3 Solana right there if I would have held it a bit longer instead of selling it for that quick liquidity. Now, after that purchase, we basically bought a Bitbirds for 5 Solana. We got in pretty late on these. Basically, what happened to the Bitbirds was that it's the same creators as OKBears. And there are some rumors that the OKBears founders and the project will implement the Bitbirds project into the roadmap of OKBears as well, because it has the same creators. So we got a lot of hype because of that. I bought it for 5 Sol. Then I realized that this was a much riskier play than I was willing to take, so I sold it pretty quickly for 5.3. They did pump up to like 6 or 6.5, but then they dipped all the way back to like 2.5, so I am happy that I sold it. Right now they are back to like 4, I think, so not horrible. Then the gates of Imaginarium that we bought for 1.5 Sol, ended up selling one of them for 0.6 for a horrible loss. And then the next couple of things we did was basically aping into these burrito boys, because today when I'm recording this video, as you can tell, I bought these like 30 minutes ago when recording this video. I saw these burrito boys all over in my Twitter feed. Basically, there was a ton of hype. Basically, right now when I'm recording this video, it's Cinco de Mayo, which is a Mexican holiday as well. These guys just got a lot of hype. I basically aped in and bought 2 of them, only 2, didn't really want to risk anymore. Bought 2 for 0.5 and 0.55, was able to sell one just 13 minutes ago for 0.73, which basically means I made like a 0.1 or 0.12 Solana profit, and then I still hold the other one that we bought for 0.5, and the floor is right now 0.79 with pretty good volume as well. So at least we were able to end this episode with a profitable trade on these burrito boys. And if we go to listed NFTs, you can see that I do have a gaze of Imaginarium listed for 0.72. So now you may ask, well, Ragnar, that was a pretty horrible episode, but where are you at right now? So basically, if we look at my NFTs, I right now have this burrito boy sitting at like 0.8 Solana floor. I also have my 2 stone frogs. These guys have dipped down to 4.6. I'm hoping that these will get back up. They still have a strong community behind them, so I don't really want to sell them. I might sell one of them just to get some liquidity. That trade has not been too nice to me either. So basically, in NFT value right now, we have 10.6 Solana. And if we open our wallet, you can see that we have 11.2 Solana. So basically, we went from 32 down to 21.5 Solana in this episode. So basically, in this episode, we went from 32 to start down to 21.5, which is pretty horrible. I'm kind of disappointed in myself of all these bad trades that I did in this episode. But as you saw, I did FOMO into some projects. I do realize that I should never FOMO, but unfortunately, I can't help myself sometimes. So that ended up being pretty horrible. I sold some of the NFTs at a bad time. I bought some of these NFTs at a horrible time. And in the second half of this episode, I wasn't able to do any trades basically because I had to record a ton of videos, pack my bags, plan everything for the Bali trip. I wish I would have been able to do more trades, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks, now that I'm already in Bali, I will be able to do research on more projects, do more trades as well, even though while in Bali, I kind of want to enjoy my holiday as well. But you know, staying up to date in the NFT market as well as enjoying a holiday at the same time, it's not really possible. So I'm guessing I'll just be stuck in front of my PC all day. But basically, that's this episode and how it ended. So we are still in profits in this series in general. We have gone from 10 Solana up to now 21, which I guess it's okay. But the fact that we were at 42 at a 2x where we're at right now basically is really disappointing. So hopefully we'll be able to do some good trades in this next couple of weeks and get back up above 30 Solana. That would be nice. So I hope I see you guys in the next episode. Let me know what you thought of this episode down below in the comment section. Check out my Patreon and my Twitter down below as well. Smash that like, subscribe down below as always. With all of that said, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and I'll see you guys later. Peace.